Hey guys, it's Amber, and I'm here to talk to you guys about benchmarks, why they're important, why we celebrate them, and a couple examples of what your paycheck can look like when it comes to overrides and leadership bonuses based on the benchmark that you're at. So, the first benchmark that I want to talk about is 500 PGV. So, that's you having 500 PGV. And now, what does that do? That opens up your override pay. And that's the third way that we get paid. Our compensation plan is absolutely incredible. If you don't understand it or if you don't know every part of it, I highly encourage you to reach out to your leader and learn more about it. But that's another day. So 500 PGV is going to open your overrides. Now you're going to get a 5% override when you hit 500 PGV. It sounds little, but it definitely builds up, especially as your team grows and duplicates and keeps going and going. So don't discount these percentages. They're very, very substantial, and I know Kaylin has said over and over that overrides and leadership bonuses, mostly leadership bonuses, are a large chunk of their checks as you go up in leadership. So these are very important things. Like I said, don't discount these little percentages. But so 500, you're going to get a 5% override. That's great, right? You're getting that on all your advisors, as wide as you have advisors, and then 3 pay levels steep. Again, if you don't understand the compensation plan, reach out to your leader and they can definitely help you. But that's great, 5%, right? But we can do better. So when you hit 750 PGV, you're going to bump that up to 6% override. So again, it's a 1% boost, but it adds up. I'll tell you what. So don't discount it. But we can still do better. So we're going to hit 1,000 PGV, right? 1,000 PGV, we're going to be earning 7% override, the maximum override we can earn, but it also unlocks the leadership bonus. So when we talk about silver, gold, ruby, emerald, and I know that diamond, platinum, I know these are your guys' goals. And so when we talk about those pins, that is the leadership bonus that we get paid when we hit those pins. So unless you have $1,000 PGV, you're not going to qualify for silver. You're not going to qualify for gold. You're not going to get paid an emerald bonus. You're not going to get paid a diamond bonus. Diamonds still have to have their 1,000 PGV too. They can't just be hanging out, doing nothing, and then be getting paid on all this. So 1,000 PGV, this is our minimum goal as business builders. And that's why, because you unlock a whole nother way of getting paid, plus you're getting your maximum override. You're not leaving any money on the table, right? Okay, so 1,000 is our minimum goal. But realistically, as if you really are serious about this business, our goal is always 3,000 PGV or more. And again, this can seem kind of big at first, but as you add preferred customers, retail customers, as people keep loving products and sharing the love and growing and building, and you build your team, then this becomes a lot more realistic. And so what 3,000 PGV means is that you have a very healthy, thriving, growing business, and basically you're helping a whole lot of people, right? Your retail commissions are going to be healthy, your wholesale commissions are going to be healthy, and I'm sure you're going to be loving your override and leadership bonuses as well. So I'm going to throw up a chart here that shows you your PGV and what override that you're at, and I hope it's a good visual of why these different PGVs are very important, and why they're important for you as a business builder and not for your leader. I know sometimes we can get caught up in numbers sometimes when it comes to celebrations and shout outs and this and that, but I just want to remind you guys all that when we do that, it's because we're celebrating you guys achieving your goals and really hitting these very important benchmarks, even if you aren't even sure that they're important yet. So let me throw up this chart and then I will be right back. All right, so I hope that chart was helpful. If you guys have any questions, reach out to me or your leader. The next thing I want to talk about is celebrations and why we talk about certain things that we talk about, like First Friday and first Tuesday and all these things if you're not sure what that's all about. So the first thing is 500 by first Friday. So what's the deal with that, right? Like, what is that all about? Well, the reason this is important is because a pay period starts on a Wednesday, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So by Friday, we're 3 days into the pay period already, which means we only have 11 days left. And we want to be, really working our pay period. So 500 by first Friday is going to open up your overrides. So you can see that report. So you can start seeing where you need to focus your time and what leg you really need to be helping. And especially when you guys start having goals, pin level goals and beyond, it's super important. And even now, if you don't understand it, being able to see that override report, screenshotting it, sending it to your leader. I used to do that to Kaylin all the time before I understood it. So just opening that override report is very important. So doing it by first Friday is just a fast start, getting that sucker open so you have a long, the whole rest of the pay period to focus. The next one is going to be 1,000 by first Tuesday. And now, why is this important? Again, we talked about how 1,000 is the minimum goal. Why? Maximum override, leadership bonuses, right? So if you do this by first Tuesday, that's 1 week into the pay period, you've got it all unlocked. You have the whole rest of the pay period to keep building that PGV, but you've got everything unlocked. And you ain't leaving no money on the table. So that is the other important reason. The other thing is, it's these benchmarks here that we talk about, and this is from Bob Fergren. I learned this right when I started this business, and I've never done anything but because it's Bob Fergren, or I've never had a goal of anything but. I'm not saying I haven't missed it sometimes, but this is also because this is to respect the people that came before you, and this is also to set an example for your team and your future team. And what I mean by that is we read our reports based on a 3-level pay schedule, basically. So 3 levels deep of advisors. That's how we read our reports. So once somebody under you who's an advisor hits 500 PGV, then they start earning overrides on the advisors that are under them. Like, woo, that's exciting, right? Like, that's a win for your teammate, and we should be super excited and celebrate that and shout them out and just be jacked for it. But what that also means is there can be certain occasions where you have an advisor under you who waits till the very last day of the pay period to place an order to hit 500 to maybe earn some override. Now, this makes it very, very difficult, especially as you grow and build a team. It becomes difficult at best, honestly, like Bob says, to read those reports, because if you're sitting at a certain override, and I know it's happened. I mean, it's happened to me, so I can tell you right now, you're sitting at a certain override, maybe you're gold. Thankfully, this is after we had already pinned gold, but sitting at a gold override, all the way up until 11:30 p.m. when the pay period close, and then somebody puts in an order so they hit 500, and then boom, no gold bonus anymore. And you guys are going to see some examples of how substantial those differences can be, but it really can. So it's respectful to the people before you, your leaders, your upline, but it is definitely a duplication factor, which we always know. We always hear how this is a business of duplication. Definitely important for duplication, because your team's not going to do what you're not doing, and you can't ask them to do what you're not doing. So if you just hit these benchmarks, and get them, don't leave any money on the table. That's why we always say hit your $1,000, because you're not leaving any money on the table then. It's not for us, it's for you. We want you guys to win. So that's what I have when it comes to, those benchmarks and celebrations, and just celebrate your team for hitting these things too, because everybody loves a pat on the back, and some people, not everybody, but some people really do thrive on shout outs and, just praise for doing a good job. So shout your teammates out for doing this. and always make these benchmarks a goal for you. And now I just want to kind of share a couple of examples of what your paychecks can look like based on the different benchmarks that you hit and where you're at, and why they can really be substantial long term. So I hope you guys learned something, and if you have any questions, again, reach out to me or your leader. All right, here comes the examples. Okay, so here's one example. So let's say that you're sitting at $500 PGV, which means you're earning 5% override, right? And the advisors under you have a combined total of $3,000 PGV. So what override would you be earning? Well, override is the business volume times whatever percentage override you're at. So you're at 500, that's 5% override. And business volume is going to be half of the total retail volume amongst your advisors. So override in this example is going to be $75, which that's a substantial amount. You know, that's groceries, that's gas, that's a big amount. But what would it have looked like if you would have had $1,000 PGV instead of just 500 PGV, which would amount you're earning that 7% instead of just 5%. So you can see in the example that instead of $75 override on the same exact amount of advisor volume, just because you had 1,000 PGV, you're going to be earning $105 override. And that's silver, y'all. I mean, you can see it right there. So not only are you earning a much higher override, but you also just unlocked your silver leadership bonus. So this is substantial, and this is why we preach and, you know, just really celebrate you guys hitting these benchmarks, because it helps you guys win. Okay, so let's think bigger picture and longer term. So let's think beyond silver. We'll say that you still have $500 PGV, so you're at 5% override, but you have a huge team that you've grown under you. You know, wide and deep. You've got a lot of people you've helped, and they're helping people. And those advisors have a combined volume of $28,600. So what's your override going to be at 5%? So again, it's going to be that business volume times 5%. So your override in this example is going to be $715, which is huge, right? That's a huge chunk of change, but you're not going to get your leadership bonus of gold even though you're above 500 because you didn't have $1,000. So again, you're leaving money on the table. That's why we say that. So what would it look like if you did have $1,000 PGV? You were at that 7% override. So in the example, you can see there that your override times, the business volume times 7% is going to be $1,001, which is going to be Ruby, y'all. Are you kidding me? So not only are you getting the gold, you unlocked your silver bonus, you unlocked your gold bonus, and you just hit Ruby because of that small little percentage like I talked about that went up. And you're getting a Ruby bonus too, which you're going to see how big that can be. So these benchmarks are important, I'm telling you. Okay, so this is just a chart showing the different leadership bonuses, kind of what it takes to get that, the override amount, star legs, roughly the amount of retail volume amongst your advisors that you need. But what I'm focusing on is those leadership bonuses. So you can see those percent bonuses there, and you can see with the arrow that those bonuses are adding on top of each other as you go down. So, it starts with 3%, you add another 2% when you hit gold, so that's 5%. You add another 2% when you hit 3-star, that's 7%. So you get down to double diamond, you're hitting 19.5% leadership bonus, which is gigantuous. And those huge paychecks that you hear about Advocare mostly are leadership bonuses. So another reason why getting your $1,000 PGV is so stinking important. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys a couple examples of leadership bonuses and how awesome they are. So for these examples, you are at $1,000 PGV because that is our goal. So you're at your full 7% override. So let's say your advisors under you have 3,000 PGV combined. That means you're silver! Yay! So what is your leadership bonus at this amount. So your leadership bonus is going to be the business volume times the leadership bonus level that you're at. And again, you're at silver, which is 3%, as that chart said. So your leadership bonus is going to be $45, which is super exciting because your override is at least $100 because you're silver, and then plus you have your retail commissions, wholesale commissions, and so this $45 is the fourth way we get paid on top of all of that. So that is super exciting. And so now I want to show you a little more bigger picture of how things can look. So now we're thinking bigger picture. So your advisors under you have $15,000 PGV combined because you're helping people under you hit silver, you're helping people under you win, and you're gold. Woohoo! So your leadership bonus is now 5%. So what is your total leadership bonus pay going to be? So leadership bonus, business volume times your bonus, which is 5%. In this example, it's going to be $375, which, holy moly, that went up from $45, right? So again, the leadership bonuses really start climbing. But what if you would have had 3-star legs with that same amount of volume under you? You know, you had 3-star legs, so that made you gold 3-star and nothing else changed. So that bumped your leadership bonus up to 7% because you added another 2. So look at your leadership bonus. $525 instead of $375. That's $150 more just by having 3-star legs instead of, you know, 0 to 2-star legs, basically. So these are just a couple examples I wanted to leave you guys because I know a lot of your stepping stone goals are silver, gold, gold 3-star, and then beyond. But you can just see even at these levels how quickly these bonuses are adding up and how awesome our compensation plan is. So if you guys have any questions, again, just reach out to me, comment below, reach out to your leader, and we'll get you taken care of.